What's going on, everybody? Nathan back here again to bring you guys another episode of The Walking Dead reviews. So, this one is actually going to be doing the final episode review of 2013. We'll pick this back up in 2014, obviously, with The Walking Dead, last half of Season 4. So, to start off this review video, obviously, this will contain major spoilers, major spoilers. Best episode ever of Walking Dead last night. Cannot believe it, still kind of in awe, and very cool. So, like I said, this review obviously does contain spoilers, so obviously, look away from it now if you don't want to be spoiled by anything or, something like that. It does contain spoilers, just to, further warn you guys, because you guys will be pissed if you watch this video and you have not seen the episode. I cannot warn you guys enough. Alrighty, so to start off with the recap now, or the review video, give my opinions on things that happened. The episode actually started off where they left off kind of last week, but at the same time, it started off completely new. Brian Harriet, or the governor, obviously had he was talking to his group at the camp, and he's basically trying to convince them, to attack the prison. He's trying to convince them these people are murderers, these people are bad, they mutilated me, as in, they took my eye, they burned down my place, which they actually didn't. He burned down Woodbury himself when he got pissed and killed all his men. But he burned down Woodbury himself, but he's blaming it on them. And he's basically just trying to convince them, we have to do this, we have to take the prison, but at the same time, he's trying to do it without actually killing anybody. Now, whether his intentions were like that the entire time, or whether his intentions were like, oh, we're gonna slaughter him anyway, he brought it to him in a way to say, we don't have to kill anybody to try to take this prison. And once you get there at the prison, once you get there and you're in the middle of a fight, you can't back down. You can't run away. You can't run in the other direction. It doesn't work like that. You could get shot. You could do anything. You have to stay with it after you go. So in order for him, to get his men to go, that he has to put this in their minds that, we're going to go there with the intentions of not killing anybody, but we have to be prepared to do so. So, sorry guys, still a little sick, but, So in the middle of doing that, it cuts to a clip with him still talking, but it cuts to a clip where we left off last week, holding Michonne and Herschel at gunpoint, and he kind of, they obviously don't know the governor's there, and Michonne walks away from burning the bodies, and he basically hits Michonne really hard in the face, in the nose area, with his gun, knocks her out cold, and then points his gun at Herschel, and he takes those two actually captive. So we find this out when he says to his group, basically, that he's taken two of them. He ran into him, and he just thought that this would make his job a little bit easier. Alrighty, so back in the mobile home camp, he's still trying to convince them. He tells them that he held a gun at Michonne and Herschel, and he knocked her out, and they're both taken hostage. I captured two of them, and Tara is actually the only one in the group who seems surprised by the news. She's like, what? And the governor basically explains, I was scouting the prison, our paths crossed, so I took him. This could make our job easier, possibly, without killing anyone. And alright, so some of the people at the prison are bad. These people, they mutilated me, burnt my camp, killed my daughter. Basically, he lies. They didn't obviously kill his daughter. I mean, technically, I guess Michonne kind of killed her, but she was kind of already dead anyways. Burnt my camp, obviously, that's a lie, as I, said before. And, so Tara reflects on it for a moment and then decides to just, side with the rest of the camp. And, they're in. So, Lily is not in for this fight. She doesn't want to do it. I said we didn't have to fight for another place. This is what she tells the governor. And the governor says that it'll keep her alive and Megan too. And then he explains that he loves her. And she basically replies with, I don't know who you are. You're not the man that I took in my apartment. Back in episode 406. He's not the same man anymore. Basically saying, this Brian Harriet guy, this is not you, this is not who I thought you were. And this is basically the start of the end of Brian Harriet, and the return of the governor. So, he kisses her, basically heads off, leaving her without a look on her face like the one Andrea had when she found out who the governor really was. So I thought that was kind of interesting, to kind of reflect on what happened back in Season 3 when Andrea first found out who the governor was. Was kind of timid of him, was kind of, kind of angry, and then at the same time, just scared shitless, kind of who he actually is. Now, inside the mobile home, Michonne and Herschel are seated next to each other, their hands obviously tied in front of them. Herschel tries to actually reason with the governor, or Brian, and obviously this is classic Herschel. He tries to, reason with anyone. And, he refers to as the governor, and Brian says, "Don't call me that." And, ever the peacemaker is Herschel. What Herschel says. They can find a way to live together. And the governor O'Brien is having none of that. It can't work. I killed Andrea. Michonne killed my daughter. She took my eye. We're gonna want to kill each other all the time. He applauds Herschel basically for saying, you're a nicer man than Rick. I know you're trying to make this work, but it's not gonna work. And Herschel basically says, knowing that it's going to come to a fight, if you understand what it's like to have a daughter, then how can you threaten to kill someone else's? Herschel asks, obviously referring to Maggie and Beth, and Brian basically retorts with, "Because they're not mine." So we've obviously seen this before with the governor, or Brian, or Philip, whatever you guys want to call him. He has so many different names now. We've obviously seen this before. He has a problem distinguishing feelings between his daughter or someone else's, Obviously, when it comes down to it, if I had a daughter or something like that, obviously I would choose my daughter over someone else's. I can understand him in that point of view, but at the same time, there's no reason for why he should be the one that is going to try to kill them, if you know what I mean. As of this moment, Megan is safe, and so is Maggie, and so is Beth, but he's just putting their lives in jeopardy to try to get Megan, I guess, not really even more safe, but I would say, honestly, trying to kind of spoil her, if you know what I mean. Like, he's trying to, he wants more, but he already has enough to protect Megan. Anyways, whatever. Outside his home now, Brian heads over to say goodbye to Megan, which I thought was kind of cool. This is the one, in my opinion, this is the one last time where we see the governor, Brian, or Philip, have, I guess, a sentimental moment. This is the last time we see him as the old Brian, as the old Philip. After this, pure, straight governor, no joke. But right now, he basically, she's playing in the mud, and he goes over, gives her a hug. And now back at the prison now, Daryl is pacing and is pretty damn angry. Obviously, this is a reaction between Rick telling Daryl that, he had to banish Carol because she's the one that killed Karen and David back in season 4, episode 2, Infected. Obviously, we found out that Carol obviously is the one who did it. And Carol and Daryl have a little bit of a relationship. It's not really a romantic relationship, but they've obviously always been there for each other, We found out that Daryl was abused as a kid, and, Carol was abused as a wife to Ed, and they kind of have things in common like that, and, they were always kind of there for each other, so they always had that kind of, I guess, like, bond type thing, they were always there for each other. And, Daryl basically says you couldn't have waited till we get back, and he couldn't have brought her back with Tyrese around. Tyrese would have been furious. He would have killed her. And Daryl basically states, I could have handled that. I haven't, and Rick says, I haven't told Tyrese yet. I don't know how he's going to take it. And Daryl replies with, let's go find out. So the two head out into the prison tunnels, and Tyrese is pissed. All right, so they haven't told him yet, but he's pissed for some reason we don't know. And this is what we get to find out. So before Rick can explain about Carol killing Tyrese's girlfriend, Tyrese leads him down into the tunnels even more and points to a rat. It's been cut open. This is a really weird, type deal here. It's been cut open, splayed in front of a door, and it was food for a walker. And he basically states, we got a psychopath living with us. This is obviously the same person who killed Karen and David. I'm not going to sleep until we find them. Tyrese says, think it's the same person who killed Karen and David. An explosion now is stopping any further discussion of that matter. Rick was just about to tell Tyrese that Carol's the one who did it, who killed Karen and David. And now they run outside, and the gang is confronted by a terrifying sight at the gate. And it's Brian or the governor atop a tank. Now this is where I kind of started to get chills going down my back. You get this feeling every once in a while when something epic is about to happen, and you're just like, holy shit, this is awesome. I mean, if you guys are a really big fan of The Walking Dead, you probably felt it too. And he basically states, we need to talk. And Rick yells back, it's not up to me. There's a council now. They run this place. And it's kind of like one thing leading to another after he says this, It's not up to me. There's a council now. They run this place. And what I was thinking when they originally did this is because Carol was a big part of that council, She's not there anymore. And neither is Herschel, neither is Michonne. And Brian and the governor basically smiled and was pretty much prepared for it. And he asked if Herschel and Michonne were on the council, and then trots them out. And basically makes them kneel down on their knees in front of the prison gates. Basically stating, I have two of your people, and now you have to do what I say. So he basically states to Rick, you're making the decisions today, Rick. Come down here. Let's have that talk. So this is also a part where I actually got chills down my spine. It was really, really epic, really, really cool, right out of the comic book. And I just thought it was really, really awesome, just because I've recently obviously read the comic books, and epic ride. So knowing that there's nothing left to do but face them, Rick heads down to the gate for the chat, while Daryl reminds everyone basically of their contingency plan. Wow, that's a hard word to say. I had that prepared, and I couldn't get that one out. All right. Daryl basically states, if everything goes south, get on the prison bus, and we got to get the hell out of here. So, sorry about that, guys. Down at the prison fence now, the governor, you and your people have until sundown to get out of here, or they die. That's what the governor tells Rick, obviously referring to Herschel and Michonne, which obviously are the prisoners. And Rick basically states, there are sick children in the walls who can't be moved. And the governor doesn't give a shit. He basically states that they're not my children. That's not my problem. As we've obviously seen back when he was talking to Herschel in the home, in the little mini home back at the camp. Alright, so now, back at the mobile home site, basically in the woods, Lily's actually sitting down alone on top of a camper, staring into the stream. Something that is on the other side of the water grabs her attention, and it's actually a walker. We haven't actually seen this before, a walker going through water, trying to get to someone across the water. He's trying to go through a stream, fight his way through, obviously, some rapids, he's fighting that hard to try to go get some food on the other side of the river. And yeah, so now before she can do anything, it was washed away. And Megan is still playing in the dirt nearby. She digs up a sign actually reading warning, flash flood. So obviously this means that if you know what a flash flood is, it basically means that wherever that sign is, that place can get flooded instantly. There doesn't have to be rain, there doesn't have to be anything. It's called a flash flood for a reason. It can flood at any moment. If gravitational pull from the moon hits it the right way, in an evening, it could actually get flooded. And I don't really know much about that, honestly. I've been out of school for a while. But that's kind of how it works. So she digs up a sign in the mud, warning, flash flood. It wasn't the walker across the stream that was the danger. It was the one Megan stirred by pulling up the sign. So, this is the first time we've seen something like this. A walker buried in the mud. Now, we've obviously seen walkers in mud before, but we have not seen a walker completely submerged in mud up to the point where you cannot see it. And this one is what, this one was what it was at. So, this walker was in the mud, presumably below the sign, because when she pulled it up, that's when it kind of, protruded a little bit more. And it started moving around in the mud, hand raised up, head raised up. It grabs Megan, and before Lily can do anything, she climbs down off the camper and rushes over to Megan, but the walker bites Megan in the neck. And Lily obviously shoots the walker down, and now it cuts to inside the prison gate. Carl is talking to Daryl. And Carl wants to try to shoot Brian or the governor, and Daryl tells him to hold off and just trust his dad. Carl says basically, I'm a good shot. I can hit him from here. I can end this now. And I thought that was really, really cool. Because honestly, he probably could end it now. He is a good shot. Probably one of the best shots out of the group. To be honest with you, now that Andrea is gone. And, so now, nearby, Mika and the other children rush outside. Another girl are carrying she and another girl are carrying the baby Judith Grimes, carrier with the baby obviously inside. Lizzie isn't ready to let them get on the bus. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to evacuate the bus. And, they're trying to evacuate to the bus. And, Lizzie tells them, Carol taught us to be strong. We should help. We should have guns too. Back at the prison gate now, down by Rick and the governor. Rick basically makes a new plea to the governor. We can all live together. There's room enough for all of us. And Brian disagrees, saying not after Woodbury, not after Andrea. And that statement basically put rage into Michonne's eyes, as she kneels basically in front of the prison alongside Herschel. The two of them are obviously still bound. Michonne's pissed now that he brought up Andrea, but she cannot do anything. It's pretty hard to do anything when, they're all held at gunpoint in front of the fence, kneeling down when then she's tied up. Standoff now reached. Brian grabs Michonne's katana and holds it in front of Ursula's neck. Rick yells to Tara, "You in the ponytail, is this what you want? Is this what any of you want? I've fought him before, and after we took in his old friends, they've become leaders in what we have here. You put down your weapons, walk through those gates, you're one of us. We let go all of it, and no one dies. Everybody's made it this far. We've all done the worst kind of things to stay alive, but we can still come back. We're not too far gone." And this is where the title of, obviously, the episode comes from. And the episode title is not called Not Too Far Gone. It's called Too Far Gone. And we find out quickly why it's called Too Far Gone. He's making a reference to Clara, the Irish tourist from season 4 premiere, who told Rick she didn't think people got to come back from the horrors they'd done. We get to come back, I know. He adds as Herschel's eyes light up, obviously referring back also to the premiere when Herschel says, You came back. Your boy came back. You get to come back. You do. Now, angered, the Brian or the governor, after that big speech from Rick, Brian or the governor seems to be thinking it over. He removes the katana from Herschel's neck, and this is when shit really goes down. This is when the title of the episode, Too Far Gone, really comes into play, because this is, for the governor, he is too far gone. He cannot come back. He whispers, liar. He pulls the katana back, and he slashes Herschel's neck. Alright, so, at this point, all hell breaks loose. Rick flips out. He pulls out his gun. He's shooting at the Brian or the governor group in front of Rick from the prison gang left behind him. In the chaos, Rick is shot in the leg, but Herschel's actually shot. I mean, not Herschel. The governor is actually shot in the arm, and I actually think Carl is the one who got it. Looking back to some clips I seen last night as well, I think Carl is the one who actually shot the governor. He said, I have a good shot, I think I can do this, and I think he is the one that shot the governor. When Rick first pulled his gun and shot first, I thought originally that it was Rick who actually got the governor in the arm. But now looking back to it, there was a clip cut to Carl where he actually shot his rifle, and he shot his rifle. It's not a guaranteed shot that he hit the governor, but I think it is. That's why I cut back to Carl. So I think Carl is the one who shot the governor in the arm. So Rick's shot in the leg. Obviously, Rick runs backwards, ducks behind a van for cover. The fight gives Michonne basically an opportunity to slink off and free her hands. Michonne kind of rolls with her hands tied behind her back. She rolls over and over and over again, and frees her hands by rubbing her, loosening the rope, obviously, on the back of a van, on a sharp part on the back of the van. And Brian, the governor, finds Herschel. He's crawled off. He's not dead yet, and he's about to be. So Herschel's kind of crawled off. Obviously, his one side of his neck is completely sliced. He's crawled off, and the governor follows him and uses Michonne's sword to completely decapitate Herschel and killing him. We don't actually see the decapitation. I thought it was pretty cool the way they did it too. Obviously, it's cable TV, so they can't show something like that happened in the comic book. In the comic book, spoiler alert, it wasn't Herschel that actually happened to. It was actually Tyrese. In the comic book, it was Tyrese. They decapitated him right in front of him, and it actually showed it all, obviously, because it's a comic book, graphic novel. It obviously can be, seen like that, but it's cable TV, guys. I mean, it's AMC. It's not like it's HBO or something like that. It can't pull off that type of gore. So, yeah, they basically showed him getting on top of Herschel with the sword, and then all we hear is the sound of him cutting off, and it kind of fades out and blurs out to Herschel's head basically kind of rolled away a little bit. We don't actually see that it's Herschel's face or any graphic detail like that. We kind of just see like a white white-haired covered head, obviously, being Herschel. So yeah, now Herschel's dead. Rip Herschel, rest in peace, Herschel. Very, very saddened by that. I kind of seen it coming, obviously. I did get this prediction right in my Too Far Gone prediction video this past Thursday. Go check that out as well. I did get that prediction right. I did predict that Herschel was going to die. And I'm right. So terrified, Tara is actually now behind a vehicle with her weapon down. Her girlfriend, Alicia, we're not supposed to be doing this. He chopped the guy's head off with a sword. That's what she tells Alicia. Gunshots and wails fill the air when Lily walks up to the scene, holding Megan's remains. Obviously Megan got bit, and she's holding Megan in her arms. Megan's dead. Brian the governor takes Megan from her and stops Megan from turning into a walker by shooting her in the head. He then turns to his group, and this is an epic part. This is straight from the comic. And I got chills down my back when this happened, because this is straight from the comic. He basically approaches them and basically says, "Kill them all." So at this point, he has no one left to protect. Megan is dead. He has no one left to protect. He doesn't want the prison anymore. He wants to kill them all. So he basically states, the tank moved forward, turning the prison gates into mints. Basically, there's no more gates, obviously, up. The tank just rolled right over. The governor doesn't care anymore. He just rolled right over the tank, rolled right over the fence. And Maggie runs to get Glenn, who is inside, as people flee towards the bus. In the field now, Rick and the governor, obviously they're going up the courtyard. The governor and his men, they're going up, towards the courtyard in the field, in the prison field. And Rick actually tackles the governor. They're basically beating the shit out of each other. And the governor seems to have an advantage, obviously due to Rick's right hand, being busted up from earlier this season when he actually beat the shit out of Tyrese. And that happened. So that's what happened with that. The governor seems to have an advantage because of Rick's hand. Maggie gets Glenn onto the bus, rushes up to find Beth, while Daryl takes down a walker. He uses him as cover. At this point, I actually thought Daryl, I didn't think he was going to get bit. Okay, I don't want to say that I thought he was going to get, I didn't want to say, like, I thought he was going to die, because obviously, Daryl at this point really can't die. It's kind of possible. Obviously, I guess it's possible. Anything's possible in The Walking Dead, but there was a walker approaching Daryl from behind, and it cuts off back to Rick and the governor actually, fighting still in the prison yard, and Daryl takes down the walker, uses him as cover. Bob, Sasha, and Maggie are, obviously Maggie went over to Sasha and Bob, trying to find out where Beth went. Bob gets shot. They make their way onto the bus, but they're too late, and they watch it drive off. Sasha basically tells them, "We'll figure it out." Over by the garden next to the canteen, Tyrese has been cornered by Tara's girlfriend Alicia and another man from the mobile home site. He looks to be a goner when a shot rings out, and another. So, Tyrese is basically pinned down up in the garden, and they're shooting at Tyrese. They didn't actually hit him. They were shooting at Tyrese. He was hiding behind some planters, little cement barrier that they had, and he couldn't move. He couldn't get up. He couldn't move. He couldn't do anything, or he was going to get shot. And shot rings out, and it's Lizzie and Mika. They shoot the man down. Tara kind of stares at the little kids, and then Lizzie takes a shot and basically takes Tara down with a headshot. Just boom, right there. They were a really good shot. Really, really impressed with that. I honestly felt like clapping. I kind of wanted to see that for a while, them take it into their own hands and kind of get vengeance, kind of take it like that. Back in the prison field now with Rick and the governor. Rick's choking on his own blood, and Brian, the governor, strangles the life out of him. Holy shit. I honestly, I don't want to say I thought Rick was going to die here, but holy shit, he was really fucking close. His face was completely blue. He was choking on his own blood. Everything like that. Just oxygen was out of him. And I thought he was about to die. He was definitely going to die if what happened next didn't happen. Out of nowhere, Katana presses through Brian's body, and it's Michonne. So, oxygen now filling back in Rick's lungs. Rick asks Michonne where his son is, where Carl is, and she replies with, "I don't know." And now the governor is in pain on the prison field. Katana just went right through his chest, and he's kind of sitting there in pain, writhing in pain. Now back in the prison courtyard, Daryl in the courtyard, who takes out the tank with a grenade. He actually, pulls the pin of the grenade, throws the grenade inside of the inside of the tank's cannon. He throws a grenade right in there, and Mitch from the mobile home site jumps out just in time, or maybe not. He jumps out of the tank blows up, and Daryl holds him at crossbow point and shoots him with a crossbow. Beth runs up to Daryl, and he basically states to Beth, "We gotta go." He tells her as they flee the prison. Stumbling through the prison, Rick finds Carl, who saves him from walkers. Rick is looking for Carl. Like he can't find him anywhere. Walkers are approaching Rick. He doesn't know what to do. Rick still has his gun, but he has a busted right hand. His left hand's probably not doing too good anymore now that he's been in a fight with the governor, and he's slouching over. He's trying to get his breath. He's honestly probably going to die here, and Carl saves Rick from the walkers. The two Grimes, what I'd like to say the Grimes men now, because Carl, I mean, he's not really a little boy anymore. You know, back obviously in season 1 and 2, he was this little pain in the ass kid. But now he's honestly he's turning into a man. So yeah, back they turn their attention towards finding Judith. Obviously Carl tries to help Rick along. You know, Rick can barely walk. Turning their attention to finding Judith. Her carrier is empty and bloody, and they start crying. So we don't know obviously what this means. I mean, the carrier is full of blood, but at the same time, you know, could that be from a walker getting Judith? Could that be from something else? We honestly don't know at this point. I mean, it could be, I guess, they kind of confirmed her death on Talking Dead. But at the same time, they didn't straight out and say that Judith is dead now. I mean, obviously they couldn't show a baby, you know, getting eaten by zombies on a, you know, cable TV show or anything like that. So I guess Judith could be dead. Maybe someone grabbed her. I doubt that, honestly. I'm putting my money on she's probably dead now. So that kind of sucks. I kind of wanted to see her grow up a little bit. Unlike the comic book, obviously in the comic book, spoiler, she did die as well. When Lori died, obviously they both got shot by the governor, or not by the governor, but they actually both got shot by Lily when the governor told Lily to shoot them. All right, so now back in the prison field, the governor lies in the field gasping for breath. Lily walks up to him, and at this point, I honestly didn't see this coming. I mean, in the comic book, spoiler alert, Lily is the one that killed the governor. In the comic book, you know, she blames the governor for making her kill Lori and the little baby Judith. She walks up to him and shoots him. You know, shoots him dead. He's writhing there in pain. He's not dead yet. Katana went through his chest, obviously, went through his stomach. He's not dead yet. He's writhing in pain. Lily walks up to him, is basically blaming him for Megan's death. You know, we had it good there back at the camp, and now that you left, Megan got bit, and I blame you for that. I don't know who you are. You're not who I met. And she puts him down, you know, shoots him right through the head. So the governor is now dead as well. Walker Boot steps onto the chess piece that Megan once gave the governor. Obviously the chess piece with the little eye patch on the right side. You know, basically saying that everything's over, you know. The governor's over. The walker steps on the governor's chess piece, kind of saying, you know, obviously he's dead, and everything about him is dead. So Clara, the Irish tourist from the season 4 premiere, is one of the walkers. So I thought this was a really cool flashback to the season 4 premiere, obviously when Clara killed herself and told Rick not to end her, and she's actually one of the walkers. So I thought that was pretty cool. We actually see Clara as a walker, so I thought that was really, really cool. Now, the woods outside the prison, we obviously see Carl and Rick. Carl obviously helping Rick away from the prison. And Rick states to Carl, I thought this was really, really epic. This was right out of the comic book, too, when they left the prison. Don't look back, Carl. Just keep walking. And Rick, in an interview, actually explained why he said this, just keep walking. He wanted walking to be the last word of the season 4 mid-season finale. So I thought that was really, really cool. You know, don't look back, Carl. Just keep walking. He tells his son as they head off into the woods. And yeah, that's basically it for that. So if you guys are really interested in seeing some more prediction videos, maybe some death prediction videos, or some more types of videos to do with The Walking Dead before it comes back next year for the last half of season 4, I will definitely be up for doing those. Obviously I'm not going to be doing my weekly episode predictions anymore or my weekly review video because there's nothing to review for The Walking Dead. But I can do some special little videos, maybe once per week, maybe once every 2 weeks, something like that. Give me some suggestions in the comment section, or shoot me a private message on YouTube if you guys want to. But anyways, that's it for The Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 8, mid-season finale. Too Far Gone. Very epic episode. Cannot believe it. Still in awe. And it is definitely now my favorite episode of The Walking Dead ever aired. The only thing that would probably compete with it would be the pilot episode, obviously, because that's referring back to the very first episode of The Walking Dead ever. And obviously that's referring back to the origins of the comic book. So, I mean, nothing really can get better than that. If anything, it would be this. I do think this is my favorite episode of The Walking Dead ever. I classified the pilot episode a completely different stage. I classify that kind of as a movie, if you know what I mean, because it was an hour and a half. So, anyways, yes, guys, that's the end of Season 4, Episode 8, Too Far Gone, the episode review video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you did, obviously hit this up with a like, add it to your favorites, whatever you guys want to do. Watch it over and over again, because this was a really epic episode of The Walking Dead. And, I'm definitely going to go probably watch it again here within a few minutes. So, hopefully you guys did enjoy. Like I said, hit it up with a like if you did enjoy. And obviously, my review videos and my episode predictions videos will be coming back this February. We actually learned the return date of The Walking Dead. And The Walking Dead comes back to us with Season 4, Episode 9. I don't actually know what it's called yet. We'll obviously find that out soon. Or a little later, obviously, probably early next year, something like that. Season 4, Episode 9 of The Walking Dead. It returns on February the 9th, Sunday, 2014, February the 9th, 2014, Sunday, only on AMC, or I guess Fox in the UK, or whatever you guys watch it on there, New Zealand, stuff like that. There was actually a sneak peek to the next episode of The Walking Dead, so it was actually a Talking Dead exclusive, so if I can find a link to it on YouTube, I'll definitely leave that down in the description below. Go check that out. It's not really a big sneak peek, obviously, it's just a little one, but it's kind of cool. Not really any spoilers in it at all. So hope you guys did enjoy this. It was obviously a really long review video. I had a lot to talk about during this episode review. Very epic episode, and I'm still in awe. Favorite episode of The Walking Dead ever. I know I keep saying that, but I cannot stress it enough. So anyways, yes guys, that's it for now. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. And yeah. Alright guys, bye.